I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Kasifel has joined us. Hi.
Hello.
We've been talking about anime and Ghost in the Shell and all that stuff before we started. We're about a half hour late for the interview.
Oh no.
We used all the good stuff, so we'll say it's on our
material from here on out.
We'll say it's on my Patreon, which I don't have. So just send me money for nothing, and we'll be good.
That's usually the good plan.
Yeah, that's the plan I have for most everything. Thank you so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, I am Kasifel. I am the Goblin Hostess with the mostest. I thrill and chill and fulfill everybody that I see. I am an art variety streamer. I draw pictures, I play video games, and I cover the news. I talk about politics more often than you'd expect, and oh boy, has that been fun lately.
Well, there's certainly an endless supply.
Oh yes.
Yeah. That's when I can always say that there's certainly going to be politics you can find about something somewhere that you can talk about. However, there's also fun stuff.
True.
That you can talk about. I want to talk about Ghost in the Shell because I enjoyed that so much, the series. My manga taste is very thin. I like the futuristic, semi post-apocalyptic stuff, you know. And that rides right in that wheelhouse. It was just a kick to watch each episode. And the great part I think about it is how semi-realistic it is.
Yeah, it really had a lot of like verisimilitude in how it presented this impossible technology.
Yeah.
And I think that part of that just came from like a lot of anatomy study, because all of the machines that you see, even the ones that are fully non-human, right?
Yeah.
Like the what were the spider robots called again?
Tamagotchis.
Yes.
Yeah, like that.
They feel like living creatures first, with machines as being like the parts that make them.
Yeah, they weren't supposed to be, but they feel that way. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a really solid way to define like that natural, almost like this could really happen kind of vibe behind futuristic technologies, because it's really easy for the brain to like grok a living creature more than it is like a servo that's talking to you, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And the idea of downloading someone's mind is not an original one, but it's done in a way here, and I'm not trying to spoil anything for anybody. It's done in a way here that would make sense if it were possible.
Yeah. Okay, I have a light spoiler from the show.
Okay.
A light thing, because it's a character that you meet. Because in the show, when you start watching it, there's like the main character, Motoko Kusanagi, is a full cyborg. Her entire body is replaced with artificial things, even her brain, everything, right?
Yep.
But like, you meet this guy who is one of the first people to have his brain transferred into a robot, and he's basically a toaster.
Yeah.
Like, he's a weird billionaire from Texas, who was able to afford it first, and he's like a toaster with spider legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they get to talk to each other, and it's such a cool thing where that's how the technology works. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's not, and they don't present it like weird cyborg talking to weird cyborg and that stuff, or if Kusanagi talks to a fully human person, it's not presented as something that is out of the normal. It's just like, okay, that they kind of accept it, that there are folks out there like that, which really plays into the atmosphere. It shows you how ingrained it is in that point in that world.
That's something a lot of sci-fi, I think, really misses out on when it comes to these things, especially in anime, because like the instinct, right, is to show the audience, whoa, this is weird and this is crazy, which is fine, but like if you really want to make it feel like a weird like dystopian future or any kind of future, it has to feel as normal as like a smartphone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that's why I like Cyberpunk so much, because in that, like, all of your upgrades are like, yeah, no, it's like getting a tattoo.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can look at a Cowboy Bebop the same way, where both of these you join it in progress rather than start. It's not like here's your starting point. You're bang. You're kind of thrown into this situation. Now you have to figure out where the the stories are ongoing, and you're just joining at that point. It's a more of a smooth entry into their worlds.
Yeah, it's
And
in media res, I think is the term,
mhm,
or in medias res.
yeah, yeah. It's really it's makes it smooth going for me, and I'm old, so I need that smooth going as much as possible. Um, these things now, you get into the more wilder stuff. I'm like, I can't see what's going on. But you mentioned a couple other anime. You you were you were basically uh, tossed into the anime pool at a young age.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
oh yeah. Um, I've been watching like I have really high anime standards.
Yeah,
The first ones that I watched were Vampire Hunter D, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. That's the original one from the 80s, and the other more updated one from the aughts. Akira, Ghost in the Shell, and there were a couple others in the mix because a family friend dropped a box of anime at the house when I was like 7,
yeah.
and my parents didn't really know what it was. They were like, "Oh, it's cartoons," and I watched Pokemon, and they knew that Pokemon was anime,
Hmm.
so they were like, "All right, here, this is for you." So that affected me a lot.
Yeah, a
Um,
little, I'd
and
imagine.
it's given me a gift today, which is incredibly good opinions about anime
Mm.
and an impossibly high bar. um, I have you can ask any of my friends. I have notoriously like high standards for what shows that I like invest in.
Hmm.
Um, and like a lot of the time it's really arbitrary. It depends on if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't.
Hmm.
Favorite anime of all time is Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Mm.
I will fight anybody. It's the best anime ever made. That
Yeah,
is a masterpiece.
yeah. There's a lot of people who would agree with you.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, when you have your own branded bread can, I feel like you've hit the peak. Um, but yeah, no, I've lived with these kinds of influences and like this kind of standard as like what I was into for a really long time.
Yeah.
So while I was getting older, friends showed me things like a Speed Grapher when I was a teenager. I watched Death Parade. I really liked Kill la Kill. I thought it was really cool.
Hmm.
Interesting, weird show. Love the animation. Right now, I'm obsessed with Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen and Dandadan are three big hitters for me.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
because they're really good. I'm a sucker for shonen too, despite my really high standards, because I like the simplicity and really good animation that comes out of them usually.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I was introduced. Um, really, I mean, I didn't count Pokemon at the time, but
Yeah.
I was introduced basically through watching Cartoon Network late and having Dragon Ball Z things show up. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I have no understanding of what's going on with this. And then for a while, I think it was Showtime would show on Saturday night Fist of the North Star, the original, dubbed, not
Hell yeah.
not in any particular order, and with it was incomprehensible, but also tremendous at the same time.
Oh yeah. Um like that's kind of what I mean when I say like I love shonen,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Cuz Fist of the North Star, even if you watch it out of order, it is so stunning just conceptually.
yeah.
It's an insane he cures a girl's blindness by poking her in the forehead with his magic energy powers.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
The show is incredible. In the first appearance, after he gets like the plot happen to him, a building falls on him and he just walks through it.
yeah, yeah.
Kenshiro's the best.
Yeah. Why Kenneth? He's like Superman at that point.
Yeah.
It's just nothing's going to affect him, and he just goes, and then everybody's head explodes,
Yeah,
and he gets to like diss them before they explode too.
that is like the gloating, like the soft gloating that happens is
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
That's probably the best thing that JoJo like brought in from it being a parody of anime like that when it
Hmm.
first started.
Yeah, yeah. It is it, it and for I mean I got it obviously later, much later in life than you did, but um, for me watching it, I'm like, this I don't understand any of it, and I can't wait for the next episode
Hmm.
because I didn't care at that point. I was still going to watch the next episode. I understood eventually there was some sort of plot and something about a girl, and by golly, I didn't understand that at all. But there you go. Um, and then you didn't get the girl, and all of that stuff. Um, and I'm sure there was
Sometimes it's just a vibe.
this, and there's I'm sure a billion things lost in transition, and I didn't care. We're just going to keep going. At that point, it it was going to be all or nothing at that point. I I, uh, I consider that a good thing later in life, but for you coming it so young, it had to have shaped everything for you at that point.
There was a so yes, and there was an extra thing that did that too.
Mm.
Because at the same time as dealing with like the influence of anime at a really young age, it shaped how I viewed media.
Mm.
Because like I've always loved cartoons, I've always loved comic books, and like the for lack of a better word, like the edginess of a lot of like early aughts and '90s anime,
Hmm.
it made this standard for like what I was looking for in shows. And as a kid, I'm looking for like these weird things, and I didn't really know how to find them, except out of a thing that terrified me, which was horror movies, because I also saw those at way too young an age.
Ah.
And so it sort of merged the two of them together and made me the goblin I am today. Like I saw Hellraiser for the first time when I was 6.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it did a lot to me.
Yeah, I
And
bet.
like uh just like horror movies gave me a lot of that like the weird stuff that I saw in those anime, and I watched them on loop. Like I watched Akira on loop all the damn time.
Yeah.
The moment I found out that I could find more stuff like this, I was consuming it as much as possible. And when I found like, oh, there are places I could pirate horror movies on the internet, I just started consuming everything I could.
Well, legally. Uh,
Yes.
in we'll say in Minecraft, you were doing that. Yes.
Yes, in the fictional universe, in post irony, pre irony, it's a joke.
Yes.
It is funny, and it never happened. But if
Yes.
it did, um,
In a realistic
I've
portrayal.
seen
Yes.
yes,
Where the names have been changed to protect the guilty.
yes.
Um,
Um, but yeah, those kinds of things really like. I think that's why I like have such a like a horror theme in a lot of the things I do. Why like body horror is so important to me.
yeah.
And why like when I do cyborg stuff, I like the exposed insides of the of like the robot arms, or what when I do because I make a comic book, when people use magic in the comic, their body does like body horror things, and I'd like it's got to be because of those influences early on that I ended up making those decisions at all.
Hey, you have a lot of talents. I mean, obviously, doing this, and we have
Thank you.
I have not done a good job of telling people about it. Art is one of them. Now, was do you think that being exposed to these things early got you involved in art, or were you already involved in art?
Um, I think that it's a little column A, little column B. Um, because like I was always drawing stuff. I've always felt like a weird kind of draw to that, but these things like supercharged that and kept me going. Because like I was also a big Power Rangers kid. Super Sentai is perfect. I love Kamen Rider. Um, and that like stuck with me through life. But I think that like the weird attraction I always had to drawing just got galvanized by those influences and
Mm.
kept me going where I would otherwise have given up on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I think that it was like always there, but the reason I'm doing it as a job now is because of those early influences showing me like what was possible with it.
Yeah, it's that's something to think about. Now you mentioned it, doing it as a job, and it's something that you were nudged into a direction when you were that young.
Yeah.
That kind of confirms all those things our parents said about watching things.
I think that it confirms something good about them. I I've always had a thing with this, right? Because you know how people will say like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, video games make you violent."
Hmm.
I don't think that's the case. I think that, and I think studies have shown this. Video games don't make somebody violent. Like people who play violent video games or consume violent media, like me watching horror movies,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
I watch those because I like the sense of control it gives me over my own anxieties and my own fears. It
Hmm.
lets me experience emotions that are otherwise outside of my like outside of safety,
Hmm.
like being terrified of something in a place where I can turn it off if I feel scared.
You have
I can
control of
confront
it.
my
Yeah.
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 Also, I love the special effects because that's crazy. That's cool art. But at the other side of things, if somebody has violent impulses, they'll be drawn to those things for entirely different reasons. You know, so it's like violent video games don't make you violent, but violent people will go out of their way to play violent video games,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah, and they will buy into it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I
They're
think that's the relationship with media that like that's where the nuance is, you know?
yeah, yeah. Hey, I was around when parents wanted to get rid of Dungeons and Dragons of all things.
Oh, the satanic panic.
Yeah,
Oh god.
yeah. And people would be kind of surprised which side of the aisle did that. Back then,
Yeah.
it was very to me. I was of an age where I knew what was going on by then. But like, are you kidding me? Do you people even know what you're talking about here? And certainly even D&D back then wasn't like it is now. I mean, it wasn't nearly as expansive and complex. I was like, you're talking about kids rolling a dice and mapping on it. They're
Yeah.
they're inside, not bothering anybody. Uh,
It's doing math for fun. That's what D&D is.
Math and geometry for fun. These people are.
Yeah.
And maybe a little history and literature thrown in there too. There's
Yeah.
uh, but there was it was it was a way to blame something is what it was,
Yeah.
and people could not handle some certain things, so they tried to look at a cause that didn't really have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
And not that we'd see that now. Pauses for effect.
Oh no. If I could get a little political about this, I think that it was the sort of like center right neoliberal structure kind of showing its ass
Mm,
on something so ridiculous. And you know the conservative party has been doing this for a very long time. Like you look at
yes.
the papers of William Randolph Hearst and saying that like, ooh, marijuana will kill you with its brain virus and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I think that it was neoliberalism with the Satanic Panic showing that it was always game for this. It just needed a boogeyman consistently
Mm,
that was more culturally abstract than what the conservative movement would choose consistently, which was more of a marginalized group, you know.
yeah.
And like learning about that moment in history has really shaped a lot of like my modern day politics
Yeah.
in seeing um like the failures to meet the material conditions of people living at the time being completely ignored, you know, even today, and
Mm.
people going, no, actually, it's pretending to be a wizard. That's what's ruining you.
And
That's the scary thing.
yes.
Are you kind of high and
Yeah.
rolling dice to find
Yes.
out if fireball hit?
Yeah.
You're a demon.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Fireball. 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 Um. And again, it was when people actually go back, and I really wish I people need to get everything they can out of YouTube and old videos of newscasts and find out exactly what we were being seen and shown back then, all the way back to the 60s, because then
Hmm.
you'll have a better idea of what was shaping society back then. Um, the it wasn't necessarily then the political parties that were doing these things, because it was the biggest push was ironically not from the Republican side the at that time, but
Yeah,
the it didn't matter because it was coming from everywhere. But
yeah,
we still need to think in three dimensions, no matter where we're at. Um, just because there's a label on something doesn't mean it meets everything that's been written on it. So
true.
people need to think a little bit before they do these things, which I'll leave your generation to because we did such a great job of it. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, God.
all yours, all yours. Uh,
Thank you, everybody.
yes.
The ghost of Ronald Reagan is why I'll never retire.
Yeah, I can see the retirement line moving as I get closer. It's not fair. It's not
I've
fair.
already accepted that I'll never own a house, but now I gotta do this job till I die? Why? Why?
Well, it's all because of you didn't roll a natural 20. That's
You
why.
know, that might be it,
Mm.
but, but, um, I don't have a way to fix this, actually. I was just trailing into something. I thought something would have come to me before the end of that sentence. Nothing did. Oh, God.
Quick, quick, shuffle off to Buffalo, something real quick.
Yes. Oh, God.
The the did you started off obviously pen to paper type art.
Yes.
When did you start moving over to digital?
Um, in my early 20s, I got a Wacom tablet, the kind where you draw on the tablet and it shows up on your monitor. I didn't get a screen tablet until a while later, but I started then, and that transition was incredibly awkward. Uh, Probably the hardest transition in my life out of anything that I've transitioned with. Um, which includes the gender thing. That was easy. But
In comparison.
like there's this weird like disconnect with when you're looking up and not looking down at your hand, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah.
But luckily that's dead and buried now because I have this fancy Huion tablet in front of me that lets me draw fancy pictures while looking at them again.
Ah,
Digital art has saved so much time, money, and opened up so many doors for me. I I treasure every aspect of it.
well, yeah, it's you know it gives you that chance to hit the reset button and to without having to use an eraser.
Oh yeah,
And it,
Control Z as a function is just so bloody perfect. It's incredible.
yeah, I can't tell you how many times since I've been doing the thumbnails for this because that's the only bit of art I will ever do is that. How many times I've used that button undo?
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, that's not right. Undo, 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 undo.
After a long time working on my tablet, when I go back to like sketching in one of my sketchbooks, I'll find myself like reaching for a like the Control Z button,
Yeah.
and like it freaks me out a little bit that I'll draw a line and I'll go, oh, I'll fix that, and then I just sit there realizing I'm holding a pencil, and I have to steel myself for a minute and realize, no, you can't do that in real life.
Yes.
Just turn the pencil around, use the eraser, fix yourself, do it.
Yeah. No, man. And then you realize how these people were doing it. Like the animation and stuff back then.
Oh my god,
Oh,
yes.
yeah. I just well, the interview before this, I just talked with someone who has made a transition into animation from cell to cell to cell to um, online or digital animation. And I'm like, you take a look at these old Disney movies, the old ones. Like, how many slaves did they use to put this together? I mean, there had to be an acre full of people doing these cells.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, no, like Disney would say that he didn't sweat the conditions in his shop, um, all the time.
Well,
And
well,
it was I the first thing I wanted to do before I got into comic books was be an animator.
mm,
And that is so hard when you have to work a day job.
mm.
Um my lord, animation is blood, sweat, and tears. It is agony, and it is magic.
It's terrible and wonderful,
Hmm.
and and you can't really afford if you want to do it as a job. You can't afford to be behind the times.
No, you got to keep up as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, because there's always going to be somebody who comes up with an innovation that makes something shorter to do, less time, maybe smooths a little bit, something a little bit easier, and time is money when in a lot of these things.
Yeah, I do think that a part of it, right? Like that a lot of people see today is knowing when when somebody's trying to sell a fix that doesn't actually need to be fixed. Like I see that with Gen AI right now,
Yeah.
which I am entirely against. I'm on the full Butlerian jihad train there. I find no purpose in its continued use. It is a detriment to humanity.
Yep.
And like what they're trying to sell is oh well, it lets you visualize things more. You could already do that. That was never an issue.
Mm.
It lets you make things faster. No, it doesn't. It lets you make things better. No, it doesn't. It's trying to weasel a sale into something that doesn't need to fix anything.
It makes them money. Yes, it does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about all it can do.
Yeah. 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 Do you think that if AI had been instead of being marketed as a replacement for the actual artists, if it had been marketed as a tool for the artists instead, that it would be better received amongst artists?
Um, no, I do not think so.
Mm.
Um, so uh, I've been working professionally for over a decade now. And what I have run into when it comes to AI is when it's ostensibly used as a tool, it gets in the way of the process of making something
Oh.
more often than it helps anything. It gives people, like, it gives clients an uninformed or like unclear idea of what they want to create,
Hmm.
because it's about the lowest common denominator.
Hmm.
That's all that these Gen AI things can produce is the most common interpretation of a concept
Hmm.
off of stealing a bunch of art because that's how they're trained.
Yeah.
Um, and when people use it to create like, oh, I want something like this kind of sketch, all it does is take away from whatever originality they might have had and fuel it with this either slop interpretation of the concept
Mm.
or a very meaningless and then ultimately thrown away rendition of what they're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when it comes to developing something, it's I'd say it's less of a tool and more of a like it's a cruise missile when you need a scalpel.
Mm. Okay.
It just destroys the whole process. Like you don't get to create anything.
Right.
You're not making anything. You're not thinking of something.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You're offloading a machine or all that thought process to a machine.
Mm.
Um I speak about it in terms of a like a neo-colonialism, right? Like
Okay.
there's no more land left to conquer on the planet. Um and that's where money used to be made,
Right.
right?
Right.
And Bo Burnham talked about this a while ago in relation to like social media, like things like YouTube, Facebook,
Hmm.
TikTok. You know, it's companies trying to colonize the seconds of your life. That is starting to hit its limits. You know, people can only consume so much of your time. You know, in between the moments where you're breathing.
Right.
So AI is a push to try to colonize the thoughts you're using. It's going, oh, don't think about this thing. Don't look for this thing. Don't read this thing. Get it summarized. Let this machine do your thinking for you. Don't imagine. Let the machine do it for you. Don't draw. Let the machine do it for you, and pay us for it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I've never seen a use where it actually benefits the people who used it outside of a novelty, and a very rotten novelty at that.
I will say this. I mean, I hate AI voice use, which just drives me crazy.
Mhm.
And I hate art use well. However, it was kind of fun to break.
You know, that's fair. It is fun to break something. It is fun to shatter the function of one of these machines.
Yeah,
I am on that. I'm on that too.
I did once feed one a thing draw a pig boxing a giraffe, and the monstrosity that came out just about threw me into the sixth level of hell. It was that horrific. But that shows you, by being able to do that, how unimaginative it actually is. It's not creating anything. It is um, researching and presenting something. It's there's nothing original about it whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it can only go by what it has stolen, learned in quotation marks, stolen,
Yeah.
and go from there. It's not going to come up with some entirely new concept. Now, another big problem for everybody is it's going to get better. There,
You know.
that's
Oh, sorry. Go on.
no. I'm saying that's the sad part is it's going to get less and less able for normals, not artists and creatives, but normals to tell, because the more that gets accepted into society, the more it will become the norm.
I think that we're seeing a rejection of it though, because this is where I disagree.
Mm.
I don't think that it's going to get better. Because like I've looked into its use, I've looked into like how it's developed, and the energy needed to produce these things, to improve on them meaningfully, right, is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of information they need to scrape in order to consistently develop further is insurmountable,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't exactly have a stellar reputation publicly.
Oh yeah.
I always knew that the AI boom was a bubble, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that bubble is popping in real time. Microsoft is pulling out of using AI in their development. Multiple companies are realizing that Gen AI stuff is poison for their brand. Like Games Workshop, of all people, came out and made a solid statement against AI usage. And that's got to be a big insult to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Games Workshop did it before anyone else.
Yeah.
And I think that as people start turning away from it, we will see it decrease in quality and eventually vanish, the same way NFTs did.
Mm-hmm.
You can set your clock in the tech space by whether or not furries accept something, because furries run the tech space entirely.
Yeah.
And furries never messed with generative AI, so it was always doomed.
Yes. Always look to the furries.
Yes, follow them, and they will teach you what's going to succeed and what's going to fail.
They are the trailblazers for us. But you know, I hope I'm wrong, but when I hear songs sung by people who have never sung the song and it sounds perfect, that makes me cringe. And I've heard that happen a couple times.
I get that.
And I'm like, boy, there's just no reason. There's just no reason to have somebody else sing it now. If you can put out a hologram and play this, and people will come and see it.
let me deal some hope to you really quick though.
Mm.
So those things definitely happen, and I've seen them go on, but there is a certain there's a novelty, right? Like, oh, we resurrected Tupac with a hologram and had him sing any song. And that digital necromancy, it only glimmers for so long for a lot of people because it can't make anything new. Not really. Like it feels wrong after a while, even to the people who are, entertained by it in like the interim. And people will still make new stuff because it's not like, people make stuff for profit or for glory as their only kind of like goal. People make stuff because they like it. And like I feel like no matter how AI can replicate or mirror human creativity, humans still got to make it first, right? And it's always going to have the edge because it's always going to be something people can connect to more, you know?
I'll take your word for
That's maybe I'm just like fully hope pilled here.
it.
I genuinely believe people care more about like something being made genuinely
Yeah.
than something made in this like cynical mass produced slop way.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. Because we don't want to lose that. I mean, crying out loud, uh,
Oh yeah.
artwork and the arts in general helped civilization get to where it is today, and we don't want to go backwards any more than we already are in so many things. Uh,
Yeah.
and we're doing that quite enough. Now, with all of the things that helped shape you as a young goblin, um, how do you get to that to drawing comics and what type of comics are you doing?
Oh, I got here because I am stubborn and driven by spite.
Hmm.
Um, and I make a fantasy comic series, as a science fantasy comic series
Hmm.
called Legacy.
Hmm.
And I make it because I had this idea when I was like 14, and I just kind of stuck with it and kept developing it. Um, and I wanted to at one point, turn it into a show. I wanted to turn it into a game. I knew I wanted to tell a story with these characters. And then eventually I was able to just go, all right, well, I can make it myself.
Yeah,
So I make the comic book.
yeah. Is it? Do you have the concept first and all of the balloons and such figured out before you do it, or is it sometimes as you're putting it together?
So going through like process by process, I start with a program called Superscript, which is a free to use comic book scripting thing.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I will write out the issue. And I will leave myself, because I'm the one doing all the art, I'll leave myself gaps for interpretation. Sometimes I'll take pages and I'll fuse them together. Sometimes I'll do it exactly as written, but usually I have like the dialogue placement set out in my head. I'll do cartooning beforehand, so I'll do like a thumbnail sketch of everything
Hmm.
to kind of like see where the placement is. Um, and I will go from that and then let spur of the moment or instinct sort of shift things around if it's not looking right or not fitting right. Um, like placing dialogue, placing, like choosing lettering, that is a massive part of all of this.
Right.
And what I normally try to do is ensure that the dialogue is as integrated in with the panels as possible. Like I have my hiccups, it's still something I'm always looking to improve on.
Right.
But I just try to leave some space where these kinds of things would fit organically. Um, it's hard, but it's worth it. Also, considering I do like I do like full color on everything, which isn't always the most common choice when it with a single person produced comic book.
Right.
But that slows me down a lot, which leads me to making a lot of like different choices, thinking things through a lot more than I normally like would expect myself to.
Mm. So it's you're relying on yourself for everything here. Am I reading that right?
You are correct.
So the inking, the color, the all of this stuff is straight from the middle of your goblin brain.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome.
I am proud of it. I will talk things through with friends.
Mhm.
I'll ask them what they think of ideas, and they can throw some things my way, and then I'll interpret it. And yeah, because no thing is a monolith. If they tell me, "Hey, this is a cool idea," and I like it, I'll do something kind of like that, or I'll bounce ideas off of people. But ultimately, I gotta put it down myself and dig in and do all the work, which is certainly going to result in a comic book before I'm dead. That's pretty much the goal.
Well, when you
Finish this or die.
so so would you say that being able to do it online is is a boon for everybody in this good because here 30 years ago you wouldn't have had this opportunity to do it online obviously the
Yeah,
technology wasn't there. I mean you could have had it printed up and given it to somebody at your in your local you know library or something, but it wouldn't be the same thing. um,
yeah.
and with that, have you been able to garner a pretty good audience?
It's it is a massive benefit across the board being able to put things like out there into the world. Um, Part of it I can say, there's like a saturation, right, to everything where
Hmm.
it can feel like you get lost in the shuffle. But if you've got like 3 people that read a comic that you make, you've already climbed to the top of the mountain. You don't need, the glory and acclaim of being like a number one bestseller to succeed at doing a comic book. Because if you make art and it touches one person, then you've succeeded fundamentally, as far as I'm concerned. Um, and having the internet available to like show that to people, to just put something out there, I couldn't imagine doing this any other way.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd be doing it as long as I have if I didn't have knowledge that at least a couple of people like it.
that's great. But the great one of the great things about it is your potential audience is 95% of the world. It's out there for everybody who has access to the internet could
Yeah,
see what you're doing, which you wouldn't have been able to had you have gone straight to publishing something on paper.
that's true. That is true. It's why I try to not paywall any of my stuff too.
Yeah.
Like I have a Patreon. If somebody wants to give me money for it, then they can give me money for it.
Hmm.
But I'm just gonna make it regardless. The support means that I can make it more, but it doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop making it if I don't have that support.
Yeah.
But like having it out there for free, and I think this is great about every comic book is that people could just share their ideas.
Mm.
People could just put stuff out there for like anyone in the world to go see it.
If somebody were to come up with an idea for a character from your comic book
Mhm.
and say, hey, I've got an idea for character X, and here's what I want to do. Can I do something with it? What would you do?
I'd let them.
Hmm?
Yeah, I'd let them. My stance is this: like, as far as I'm concerned, my stuff is public domain.
Hmm.
Anyone can make characters with it. Anyone can do stuff with it. I have the main story that I am telling. If somebody jumps out and tells a different story with it, well, they did. It's part of sharing it. For me specifically, it's just part of the world.
Hmm.
If somebody wants to make a character based off stuff that I've made, and they ask me questions about how to make it more authentic to like what my intent is, then I'll help them. If they want to do their own thing with it, then good. I want people to create stuff,
Excellent.
and I try not to put any limits on that. Like I don't care for the like corporate DMCA thing for stuff. I'm not precious about things that way because I think that robs everybody. You know.
I like the use of the word precious there. That was really well done.
Oh,
And,
thank
but
you.
it is absolutely true too. It's very tweezers and nitpick type stuff when it comes to some of
Yeah,
these things, and it as long as it's not just outright stealing everything and then being rich off of it, that type of thing. I mean, that would be.
Oh yeah. Like if somebody like copy and pasted everything that I've written and drawn into a book and started selling it, then I'd be a little bit upset because
Yeah.
like why didn't you not pay me for this? I made those things.
Yeah.
You just stole from me.
Yes.
Make your own thing at least.
They tweak the nose of one of the characters slightly.
You see, at that point, I'm being done dirty.
It's yeah, it's your attitude is wonderful with this. I mean, really it is. And you obviously have wanted to share what your interests are, and for quite a long time. Has that always been the case where you've been open about wanting to show people what you're doing? Because there's a lot of people who will write at home but not show anybody anything.
Oh yeah, no, the sword edge of my autism shines brightly. I wish to show anybody my stuff. I could talk about my characters for days. I could talk about the world for days. I want to show people cool things that I like because I really like them and I love people.
Yeah. Well, when is the um, visual novel coming out as a game?
Oh, well, it won't be a visual novel as a game.
Mm.
I actually have a thing with a friend over this because I'm working on a game with my friend Volosaurus.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Terror Toma. It's a first-person shooter, like horror survival game.
Yeah.
And as we go on that, if that does well enough, if people like that a lot, we talked about doing a Metroidvania. And if we get our bearings on that and do a Metroidvania we both like, that's what I would do with my comic book. I would have the because I'm doing a motion comic right now on YouTube.
Yeah.
For people who want to watch it. And we'd be taking those segments of the motion comic and using those for the cutscenes and having players play through the environments that characters go into in the comic.
Wow.
And that's what I would do if I ever made like a game for anything.
Man, you guys got. Could you like loan some of that talent out?
Oh, it's nothing I was born with.
Man,
I say this all the time to people. Practice patience and persistence. That is all it takes. The only thing anyone needs to develop these kinds of skills, to make this kind of stuff, is to practice. That's all it's ever needed. No one is born knowing how to paint. No one is born knowing how to write. It is just the amount of interest somebody has for a thing and the amount of time they put into it. If you practice every day, then you will improve. If you are persistent in your goal to improve, you will improve. If you are patient with yourself and with your progress, you will improve. These are ironclad laws. Anyone who tells you differently is selling something. There's no magic bullet. There's no snap of the fingers. There's no grand revelation that will skyrocket someone's ability to the stratosphere. It is just hard work and dedication that develops these kinds of talents and these kinds of skills.
yeah, but some of us have skills we probably shouldn't develop for the good of science and the world.
Ah, you're talking about people who would draw other people pregnant. And I say, do that. It's hilarious, and you can do it for free.
On the internet.
Do you have an enemy? Draw them pregnant.
That's right.
They can't stop you. It's entirely legal and funny.
Yes. Yes, and show it to as many people as you can. It's perfectly fine. Okay. It's just an absolute pleasure talking with you because it's obvious how much fun you're having with it, and it's
I love things like this.
and
You're
you're in talking about what has kind of made you as far as what you're doing online and your artwork and such. It's it's so easy for you to I mean maybe you're putting on a really good act, but it seems very easy for you to talk about it and you're very comfortable with yourself right now. Am I reading that right?
Oh, you are correct.
Yeah. That's
You are correct. I spent a long time hating myself.
mm,
To be perfectly candid, I have bipolar type 2, which is more depression than mania.
right.
My mania is usually just me getting really bad insomnia.
Mm,
I've had a less than stellar experience in a lot of life.
mhm,
I won't get into my whole tragic backstory here, but I have been through some things.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of my time blaming myself for the kinds of pains that I experienced.
Right.
And when I turned about 25, I had this wall in front of me, and it was learn how to accept that I am a person in the world, that I exist first and foremost, and that I did not ask to, but I am here, or don't make it to my 30s.
Hmm.
And I got therapy, I spoke to friends, I got more open about my problems, I transitioned,
Mm-hmm.
which was a massive help for my mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I just found a way to accept that I am alive. And it's tough. It's very tough. But like being able to just sort of be here, that's what let me stop, hating myself every day.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're one of those folks I talk about being at the triumph that emerges from the circumstances, and not someone who's bound by those circumstances. You've managed to come through and continue to be a triumph, and I suspect that will continue to go for as long as you will it.
So, because
Because
I'm nothing special.
uh,
Genuinely, I'm not like
now
a special thing or anything. I'm just some goblin.
you can say that, but I'll say otherwise.
Now,
Um, yeah, I think
I say this about everybody. People are stronger than they think.
people are also more fragile than they think sometimes, and
That's fair.
it's you can be both,
Yeah.
and that's what makes the world go round, I suppose. But the
Mm,
when you can find your niche and you become comfortable enough with it that you're willing to share and expand and help others and grow yourself along with everybody else and make it become an organic thing rather than a forced thing, then that's where you get your big W.
yeah.
And
I can agree with you there.
I think you're getting a big W right now.
I'm hoping. I've burrowed myself in like a disgusting little weevil. I am in my niche. I am a micro celebrity on the internet, and no one can stop me.
Goblin/Weevil.
Yes. Yes.
We're gonna have
I'm a disgusting monster, and I am here to stay.
we're gonna have a bunch of links for you in the description. Kasifel, thank you so much for coming on, and please, if we get a chance to get you back, would you come on again?
Absolutely. This has been a blast.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.